What's going on, Dolphins fans? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm here making a hopefully quick video for you. There's just a couple things that I want to let you guys know about. First and foremost, it looks like Jason Sanders got the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week for helping us win and for being perfect in his game against the Colts. So that's fun. So good for Jason Sanders. Yay for him. That's awesome. Also, it looks like Colin Kaepernick is actually going to have a workout, like a pro day style workout. The NFL is putting this on for him. I mean, it only took 3 years, but it's about time. And, you know, we'll see if any team actually signs him. But Colin Kaepernick will be having a workout, and the Dolphins will be there. Also, it looks like there was a roster move made. The Dolphins have added Jake Carlock, a linebacker, to the practice squad and release safety Doug Middleton. Let's see. Also, it looks like Rashad Jones is practicing. Avery Moss is practicing. I guess the only person who's not practicing is Ken Webster, cornerback Ken Webster. And then it also would appear as though Andrew Van Ginkel is the second person now to be taken off of injured reserve. So now we have officially taken off 2 players from injured reserve. Remember, Cordray Tankersley was left on PUP. Julian Davenport was taken off of IR earlier, and so now Andrew Van Ginkel is the second player to be taken off of injured reserve, and Aqib Talib will not be. So it does look like as if, or it's looking more like, certainly he's not going to play for the Dolphins this season. He said he was healthy though, and we could certainly use cornerback help, and he said he was certainly ready. That's, you know, the reports that I saw, he said he was ready. So, you know, whatever. But so Aqib Talib obviously is not going to play for the Dolphins at the very least this season. So it could end up being, just flat out a bought 5th round pick or whatever it was. I think it was a 5th round pick, a purchased 5th round pick. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Also, real quick, I wanted to read this because there's an article. It's a Bleacher Report article, right? Yeah, it's a Bleacher Report article, and it's from Christopher Knox, entitled "Biggest Takeaways from Every NFL Team's 2019 Rookie Class." That means this year. So first of all, right off the bat, the 2019 rookie class is nowhere near close to being evaluated. They just got picked this year, and of course, I mean, everybody can, and certainly, you can grade them out up to this point, right? Halfway through the season, at the end of the year, you can give them grades on the year, right? But until rookies reach the end of their rookie contract, I don't think it's fair to, at the very least until the end of their rookie contract, to evaluate, to determine whether they were a success, whether they were a bust, whether they maybe just need a change of scenery, what have you. But I thought it was interesting, so I decided to read it real quick. It's short. The Miami Dolphins have been busy this season accumulating future draft picks. That's nice and all, but it won't matter if Miami cannot pick the right players with those selections, which is absolutely correct. Fortunately, some of Miami's rookies are showing that someone in the front office knows what they are doing. The Dolphins didn't hit on all of their draft picks, but their first 2 selections have been solid. Let's start there. So first of all, this dude is writing about the entire 2019 draft class. We picked like 7 guys. Okay, and then of course you do have undrafted free agents and stuff that are technically part of the rookie class, although it's not their draft class. They weren't drafted, so they don't count, but they're technically part of the rookies. This dude is talking about the draft class. So like the 7 dudes that we picked, whatever it was, he thinks that, he says rookie class suggests future is bright. Okay. But then he says, within the very first paragraph, okay, or no, I'm sorry, the second paragraph, technically the second paragraph, the Dolphins didn't hit on all their draft picks. So he talks about how, and everybody talks about how for the future of this team to be bright, we got to make sure we hit on all the draft picks because we have so many holes, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but this dude is talking about, in his article, about how this draft class is proving that the future is bright. We managed to only possibly potentially hit on 2. The rest of them, apparently, to this point, according to this guy, have been failures. One of those draft picks, Andrew Van Ginkel, just came off of IR. Myles Gaskin has been inactive every game except the last one and didn't, I don't think he even got any snaps. Maybe a couple, right? And then everybody else, I don't even remember, so tackle Isaiah Prince, he hasn't done shit. Michael Dieters is played, but he has been nowhere near spectacular, right? But anyway, so point is he contradicts himself right in the middle of this. So how does this draft class prove that the future is bright? Again, first of all, and to be fair to the draft class, we're nowhere even near close to being able to evaluate that. And if you're going just off of what we've seen so far, it's been underwhelming to say the least. Again, Myles Gaskin has been inactive almost the entire season. Van Ginkel just came off of injured reserve. Isaiah Prince is whatever the fuck. Whatever. Anyway, let's continue. First round pick Christian Wilkins has 32 tackles and a sack. Okay, that is by no means spectacular. He is a rookie, so obviously he needs time to adjust and so on and so forth. It's not terrible, but I mean, that, if anything, that's just okay. So, if anything, which is fine because it's his rookie year and he needs his entire rookie contract at the least to be evaluated. But his stats are not at all great. They're just okay at best. So you can't say that the future's definitely going to be bright based off of Christian Wilkins. It's okay. It's just okay. Okay, and that sack that he got was kind of like given to him because he was blocked initially, and then the offensive lineman just decided to let him go, run straight to the quarterback. Third round pick Michael Dieter has started all 9 games at left guard. While he hasn't always been spectacular, he's allowed 4 sacks according to Pro Football Focus. He's been far from a disaster. Bruh, he's allowed 4 sacks. Among the myriad of sacks, now, of course, our entire offensive line for the most part has been pretty bad, right? And so it's not all on him, but he's done his part and why this offense has been a disaster. What do you mean? We scored 26 points in one game. We scored like 21 in another. Everything else other than that's been like 14, less than 10, blah, 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 whatever. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? These quarterbacks have sucked for the most part or been just average at best in a couple of Phins' games, right? He had one game where he actually had like a good stat line of like 288 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception with a 118.8 passer rating. That was the only good game that either of our quarterbacks have had this entire season. And, it wasn't exactly against the best team. So, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Again, to be 100% fair, it's not even time to evaluate him. So, this conversation is a little premature, but there's certainly not. So, at best, you don't have enough information yet to even claim what he's claiming. And then even within that claim, he's contradicting himself by saying, oh, yeah, well, they didn't hit on all their draft picks, but their first 2 selections have been solid at best. And that's Christian Wilkins has been okay. Michael Dieter has been overall not very good. Now, again, rookie season, he's only a 3rd round pick. So, to be fair, I'm not blaming them. I'm saying that this is ridiculous, that this argument is ridiculous, right? But then he goes on, finally, perhaps the most impressive rookie has been undrafted wideout Preston Williams. Before tearing his ACL, the former Colorado State standout put up 32 receptions for 428 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's barely been outpaced by Devante Parker, 469 yards, 4 scores, and Parker was a 1st-round pick by the old regime. Okay, again, well, first of all, Devante Parker was not picked by the old regime, so that's actually just not accurate, and it's completely false. Adam Gase's first season was 2016. Devante Parker was a 2015 first-round pick. Okay? So, the year before, so that's just flat out not accurate. Also, that just goes to show you that Devante Parker is not actually playing up to, his 1st-round status and could very well end up not being here next year, even though he, is having a decent season, right? But of course, as I've mentioned to you, he's only ever had, at best, a, wide receiver 2 type of season, right? Those are the kinds of numbers that he's put up. And Preston Williams has been very impressive. But again, he's not the draft class. This article is talking about the draft classes, okay? Oh no, excuse me. I'm wrong about that. It is rookie classes. So, okay, fine. To be fair, Preston Williams is in that. But, that's 3 guys out of the entire rookie class, right? Out of all the guys that we brought in, because it wasn't just, we brought in a ton of undrafted free agents too. Remember, because we had a fire sale, and got rid of almost everybody. All of the 8 AAF players, those aren't, rookies or whatever, obviously. But they were all failures. So that means, then the rookie class and undrafted guys and free agents filled those spots. But it's 3 guys, right? Out of your entire rookie class. That's way less than half. That's not a good thing. You need to hit on, at least, I don't know, maybe, ideally you would want to, hit on, ideally you would want to hit on fucking, half of them, but that's hard to do, right? It's super hard to do, even to come by half of them, right? So, but okay, Christian Wilkins doing okay. That's 1. Michael Dieter, but your 2nd round pick and technically a 5th from next year has apparently gone to shit. Josh Rosen has been a massive failure to this point. So that drastic, now technically he's not a rookie, but he is part of this rookie class, considering 1, it's his first year in Miami, but 2, because of the fact that we used one of our draft picks from this year on him. Okay, Michael Dieter's overall, again, to be as fair as absolutely possible, he's doing okay. Andrew Van Ginkel just came off of injured reserve. Isaiah Prince hasn't done shit. Chandler Cox hasn't really done shit. He made some, he's made appearances, he's had some plays, but he hasn't done anything. So, again, another wash. Myles Gaskin has been inactive almost every game, right? So, how do you take this information and say definitively? Now, I'm not saying one way or the other. Some of these players could end up being wonderful. right? I do like Christian Wilkins. I mean, from the draft class, again, I would have done the draft way differently, but out of all of them, he's really, I do kind of like Myles Gaskin. I liked, you know, what I saw from him coming out of college, but I mean, that's about it. And I do like Preston Williams, but that's really as far as you go. There's nowhere near enough information to suggest that the Dolphins' future is bright based off of the 2019 draft class and how they've done so far. Okay? And there's certainly far more information to suggest that this scouting department and the people who have, you know, say over personnel, mostly the front office, but also the coaching staff, are failing in their talent evaluations, right? And so, you know, some people are like, oh, well, you know, sometimes you miss like Robert Nkemdiche, and sometimes you get guys you can work with like Taco. Okay, Taco has 4 sacks since he's come to the Dolphins, but at least half of those were cleanup sacks, or sacks that he shouldn't have gotten, like the one against Dak Prescott where he just, you know, for some reason just didn't throw the ball away. Like, he extended the play for a good amount of time. He had plenty of time to just throw it away and didn't. Just decided to fucking let Taco sack him. So, I mean, is it good on him for sticking with the play and getting the sack? And is it great that he has that on his stat sheet? Yes. But it's not like he had to do anything spectacular to get that sack. Now, there was the very next week after that game, I believe it was, he got a legit sack where he beat the, I think it was a tight end that was supposed to be blocking him, beat the tight end or whatever, and got right to the quarterback. So that one's fair on him. But right now, there's more information to suggest that it's going to be a failure, not a success. And so, but I'm trying to be as fair as I possibly can to say that we just don't have enough information yet. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting. Again, you know, you guys can make up your own minds. I just wanted to, you know, read that and give you some perspective. Again, I do like Christian Wilkins, but he's been okay. Overall, Michael Dieter has been, you know, underwhelming, to be as fair as possible. And the overall rookie class, Preston Williams has been impressive, but now he's out for the remainder of the season with a torn ACL, should be out through, you know, the duration of all the way through training camp, at least as it stands right now. And then we'll have to wait and see how he bounces back. But so overall, when you take all things into consideration, Andrew Van Ginkel just coming off it, you know, players being inactive this whole time, this first draft class from this regime is massively underwhelming, especially then when you throw in Josh Rosen and the failure that's been, blah, 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 blah. So what do you mean, right? Anyway, that's all I got. And again, though, personally, I don't trust Stephen Ross or Chris Greer or the people, you know, making the picks and the personnel decisions, because the past couple decades with those guys leading the way, they've proven that they've been very inadequate at it, you know, at best. So that's what I got for you guys. Just wanted to share, you know, mostly obviously the roster moves that were made, the new linebacker on the practice squad, you know, the safety that got cut, Van Ginkel coming off injured reserve, blah, 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 blah. Rashad Jones and Avery Moss are practicing. Ken Webster's not. So I want to let you guys know about that, but I found that one little bit to be interesting, so I thought I'd throw that in there as well. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you guys enjoy my videos and my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And of course, as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I'm out. See you all soon. Fins up.